The X Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X Zone Radio Show or endorsed in any manner by Rob McConnell, rel-mar McConnell Media Company, the X Zone Broadcast Network, its affiliated networks, stations, employees, or advertisers.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
And welcome back, one and all. This is the X Zone. I am Rob McConnell, and we're coming to you from our broadcast center and facilities in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't forget, if you'd like to contact me by email, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, on all social media sites, X Zone Radio TV. And to find out about the programming we have available for you 24/7, 365 on the X Zone Broadcast Network, visit www.xzbn.net. And this interview is coming to you around the world on the X Zone Broadcast Network, Mutual Broadcast Network, Talkstar Radio Network, and iHeartRadio. X Zone Nation, my guest this hour is Meriflor Toneatto, and she is the author of a new and exciting book, Money, Manifestation, and Miracles. As the CEO and founder of Power with Soul, she specializes in helping ambitious women entrepreneurs, professionals, and leaders to reach financial prosperity and success while fulfilling their social promises in the world. Her work has been featured internationally in media outlets like Yahoo, Finance, Washington Post, International Business Times, LA Times, and many more. Her website, www.meriflor.co, and that's meriflor.co. And Meriflor, welcome to the X Zone.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Rob. I'm really so excited to be with you.
Yeah, you know, you and I were talking before we went to air, and you're just down the QEW in Toronto, and here we are in Hamilton.
I love that.
Yeah. In fact, if you look out your window, you see me waving to you. See it?
Yeah, exactly. And it's always so lovely to connect with Canadians. And, you know, and then I heard our national anthem. Isn't that fantastic?
Well, you know, I'm a very proud Canadian, but I love my American friends and neighbors.
Oh, yes, exactly. And, you know, as you know, New World Library is my publisher. Yep. They're based in California, and they're fantastic. So, the way I see it, it's the best of both worlds.
It truly is. And as I was telling you, we've had the pleasure of working with New World for many years now, and I've worked a lot with Kim, and she is just a real sweetheart.
Oh yes, they all are, and just their whole all the books that they do and all their work is to change lives and to help change lives for the better. So when I was looking to have my book published, I really was thinking through who I wanted to collaborate with, and I chose them for many reasons, but one of those is that.
Well, we're glad you're with us, and let me ask you, what inspired you to write Money, Manifestation, and Miracles? And why now?
Well, Rob, there's really two specific reasons why I wanted to write this book. The first reason is that women are still an untapped power at this day and age.
I agree.
And even though they have made great strides, and we have, as women, made great strides, globally, though, we've got this wage gap issue in terms of earnings. I mean, here in, the federal government for us recently is announcing more funds to help women with wage income gaps.
Yes.
And there's still not that many influential leadership roles in politics, for instance, or in CEO 500 Fortune 50 companies, and there's the business income is still a lot less than men. Now, in the U.S., I came across a shocking statistic, Rob, that in the U.S., women-owned businesses generate $1.6 trillion in revenue.
Wow.
However, only 3.3% of them make over $500,000, and less than 2% make over seven figures, which just really, for that large of a 1.6 trillion, I thought that was really an interesting gap, to that number. So that number shocked me, so I thought, I'd love to help change the current state of affairs. And then the other reason why I wrote this book is because when women are empowered with money, they become difference makers, because they really want to not only transform their lives, but the lives of their families and communities at large, and they are wanting to pay it forward. So I thought sorry.
No, go ahead.
So I thought if we had, all of this together, what a much better world we could be creating when women are empowered with money.
Well, not only with money, but history teaches us that whenever a woman has been at the helm of a country, that country has prospered. There have been less wars. Sanity reigns. Like let's just take a look at recent history. Margaret Thatcher in the United Kingdom. And then let's go back in history. Queen Elizabeth II, our reigning monarch here in Canada. God bless her. Then you had her mother prior to that. And throughout...
and her great-great-grandmother,
exactly.
Queen Victoria.
Exactly. And in Egypt, Nefertiti. And the list goes on and on and on. I have always been a strong proponent of quote-unquote Mother Earth. I think that women have been suppressed by insecure men throughout history.
Thank you so much for that. I absolutely agree with you, Rob, as well. And the very fact of you're the awakened man showing such support to women by having me on your show to talk about a book about women. I absolutely love that, and I'm so grateful because you're right. And in terms, even when I was researching the book and really came crystal clear that on average, women reinvest 90 cents of every dollar that they make back to family, education, health, and nutrition.
Exactly.
This is globally. So I'm starting off with having them become more empowered with money because that seems to also be an area where there is less self-confidence. And so whichever way in my gifts and my talents that I can share and contribute to helping women move forward, money has got to be one of the top.
Men in business, they have ego. Women in business, they have heart. And they treat their businesses. Now, this is just my opinion. The way that I've seen it is they treat their business as if it is part of their family. Where men, come on. I don't even want to go that direction. But I love what you're doing. I'm glad that I can be part of bringing this information forward because the time has come when women must be recognized not only for their roles at home and that stereotyping that men have put women in over the years, but for the valued members of the business community that they definitely are.
Yes. Well said, well put, Rob. And it's so interesting because it is the time now.
Yep.
There's all this around the world. There's a lot of uprising towards feminine and empowerment of women. There's a Me Too movement. There's Time's Up, and all of that happening. And there's a study that McKinsey report did in 2015, and they said that if we globally were to help narrow the gap in terms of the wage gap for women, we could add $12 trillion to global economic growth by 2025. And so that's an untapped power. So all the regimes wanting and suppressing women, that's got to come down.
Well, history, once again, I always look back in history to find out what's going on today and how it's going to reflect on tomorrow. We've seen the biggest suppressors of women changing, and that is the church. Throughout history, the church has been suppressing women, suppressing their roles within the religious philosophies. And, many business people figured back then, not now, well, if it's good enough for the church, it's good enough for us. But we have to get rid of all that. We have to say, look, we're in the year 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018. We're going forward in time. Women have proven themselves beyond a shadow of a doubt. Women are put through so many hoops to jump through that men are not put through. And the women always come out on top.
Just the example.
Yeah.
Just the example of Hillary Clinton, the U.S. elections, and the bar that was set for her just to even get the nomination.
Yeah.
And I think it was at the Democratic National Convention when President Obama said, likely she is the most qualified candidate, and her resume was better than either his or her husband, Bill Clinton's, when they ran.
Right.
And, it's very, very interesting.
Meriflor, I've got to take a commercial break. Please stand by. Exo Nation, Meriflor Toneatto is our special guest this hour, www.meriflor.co, and we'll both be back on the other side of this break as the X Zone continues here from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away. Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X Zone radio show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X Zone broadcast network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
You have heard of the X Zone? Now watch it on Simul TV, plus 500 video games, live TV channels, free video on demand, worldwide, and more. Does this sound like tomorrow's television? Well, it is, but you can have it today, right now. It is Simul TV. Simul TV offers what the others only wish they could provide. 15 exclusive channels like X-Zone, Sci-Fi, and Horror. We are worldwide. No other provider offers that. 500 built-in video games. No need to have an extra expensive system. We have them included. Free video on demand. Live streaming events from around the world. Interactive online network, and much more. Tomorrow's TV today. Simul TV. Sound too good to be true? Well, it's not. You can have Simul TV today. Sign up at simultv.com. Do it today.
Modern Esoteric, Beyond Our Senses by Brad Olson, consummates the lifeology story about where humanity originates. It is the lost continents, the primitive wisdom, the mythos of creation, and the rethinking of ancient history as we are taught in academia. There is much more to the story than what we have been told. As this is the first book in the Esoteric series, Modern Esoteric starts at the beginning of time and accelerates up to this modern age. Future Esoteric is book 2 in the series and takes a forward-looking position ahead of today with an open and honest examination of the ET issue and various unexplained phenomena. To discover the writings of author Brad Olson, visit www.bradolson.com. That's www.bradolson.com. welcome back, everyone. My guest this hour is Meriflor Toneatto, and she is the author of Money, Manifestation, and Miracles. Her website is meriflor.co. That's meriflor.co. All of us, both men and women, have a relationship with money. What is so unique about women's relationship with money?
This is interesting, Rob, because when I was doing research for the book, I was really trying to figure out how are women's relationships shaped with around money. Mm-hmm. And what I found was so interesting is to better understand it is really to go back and look at the female brain. And I found that women have more connecting brain cells than the male brain, and so this means that women are better able to multitask, and whereas for men they're focused on one thing at a time in a linear. And women also have a greater capacity for emotion, for language, and for communication. And so taking this into how they view money, women don't view money in isolation. They view it as part of a bigger web of relationships, of meaning, and of emotions. And so for women, we're likely to think about family and the impact on loved ones when we're making a big financial decision, for example. And women are likely also to want to show love with money, share it with others who are less fortunate, and pay it forward. And so I look at that as really a unique connection, a feminine connection to money.
You write about being an emotional currency for women. You know, money being the emotional currency for women. Can you expand on that?
Yes. So what I mean by that is that because of having this close connection to money as emotion, money is really a reflection of women's sense of self-confidence and self-worth, and even their feelings of safety and security. And so, you know, all of those kinds of qualities of emotions can either help move a woman forward or keep her stuck. And I like to think of it that I like to say that your emotional state will ultimately determine your financial state. And the good news, though, is that when any kind of deep-seated beliefs or emotional blocks to having more wealth or some disempowering patterns of behavior around money are addressed, then women, you know, can move forward and do such good in their lives and the lives of others.
Interesting. So what can women hold back from greater wealth and success?
So for me, what I've really come to see and to experience both personally and when working with my clients is that a key factor of it has to actually do with self-confidence. And I've worked with so many women from all walks of life, and I've witnessed that regardless of their age, the income level, their background, their education level, many women still privately struggle with valuing themselves and their worth. And that ends up impacting, obviously, their careers, their incomes, and, you know, that really also then affects the core nature. The root of that is their relationship with money. And so I look at that often and have created ways through this book and putting tips and strategies in there that they can start to shift that if that is the case for them.
There are already many books written about women and money. What makes your book different, and why should women read it?
Well, there's three reasons, Rob. That first of all, this book is actually a course, and it's a course really on empowering women, but helping them through the lens of transforming the quality of the relationship with money, because then they can make the most of their lives and pay forward their successes and be difference makers. And secondly, this book is going to meet and serve women wherever they are on their journey. And I'm saying women, but, men can also find value in reading this as well. And whether women are business owners, stay-at-home moms, or they're executives, there's something in here in the book, and there's a lot of case studies and stories of women that I've worked with that I've included in the book, so it's going to be relevant for them. Yeah. And then the third reason why this book is different is that it gets to the core of why women and also men feel conflicted about money. And it guides the reader on a step-by-step path, not only on how to transform their lives for the better, not just financially, but spiritually and emotionally as well.
I was going to say, I know a lot of men in business who I'm going to suggest your book to.
Oh, thank you. That's wonderful.
Yeah. No, I think this is wonderful. You encourage women to keep a money gratitude journal. What is that?
Have you ever heard, Rob, of gratitude journals? Oprah talks about them all the time. I don't know if you follow her, but...
no, I haven't.
It's journaling, basically,
okay.
But with a twist of adding money to it. So the whole thing of this is I started this on my own as a little bit of an experiment, and I really started to like it, and I started to share it with my clients. But what it is that writing about what you're grateful for with abundance, wealth, and money coming into your life. And it could be as small as me going to the coffee shop and winning a free drink. That is the universe, if you will, showing me that there's great abundance around me. Or going to winning a little something, or going to the grocery store and I forgot that I had a gift card all those months in my wallet and forgot to take it out. So it's just a reaffirming and reconfirmation that what you focus on grows. So why not focus on something positive and something that you can be grateful for, and on abundance?
Interesting. I've never heard of that before, to be honest with you, but it makes a lot of sense.
Oh, that's great. Look at that. We're learning all kinds of things tonight.
We are. I'm taking notes as we're talking, by the way.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic.
And I'm still waiting for the day when I go to Tim Hortons and I roll up that brim to win and it says, anything but, please try again.
Oh, my gosh. I love this, Rob, because that is so quintessential Canadian.
Isn't it? That's just like Bob and the McKenzie brothers going, goo-goo-goo-goo-goo-goo-goo.
I think, and that whole feeling, we've all done it. We've all rolled up the rim and looked and said, I got to get another one.
Yeah, well, at least it says stop trying because you're not going to win. What is our financial starting point, and why is that so important to realize?
So the financial starting point is, with any goal, really, it doesn't even have to be financial.
No.
In order to get from point A to point B, you really have to know where you're starting from. And that's the same thing with the financial starting point. I suggest always to take stock, first of all. Let's say you're looking to have some sort of financial goal for the year. Most people set something at the beginning of the year. And you want to look at where you are and how you're going to get there. You want to look at and assess and take stock of what is your relationship like with money? What does money mean to you? How does it function in your life? What's your money story? Is it feast or famine?
Mm-hmm.
I've had people tell me, I have a love-hate relationship with money. Or as fast as it comes in, it goes out. Or I don't understand. I never seem to keep money in my life. Or some people will be, I have lots of money, and I just want to keep it that way. I take a close look at everything I have. So it's just really interesting to see how you can get from point A to point B, and looking at how maybe there's things that you can tweak because it's not working for you, or you're seeing that there's these patterns that isn't serving you.
So when you're saying, I've got about a minute and a half before I have to go to my break. So when we're talking about the starting point, is that when the the idea is created, or is that when the plan is put into action?
It can be both, because when you create the idea,
Mm-hmm.
then you think, okay, that's my point B that I want to get to. I want to see what's in between, what's the gap,
Mm-hmm.
and then putting together the plan is what's my first step. So it can be both.
You and I have to take our break at the bottom of the hour for our news. Please stand by. Thank you so much for joining us, Meriflor, tonight here on the X Zone. And please give my very best to Kim and our good friends at New World when you speak to them next time.
Oh, I will. Thank you so much.
All right. Stand by, my fellow Ontarian. We will be back on the other side of this break. And X Zone Nation, if you'd like to find out more about Meriflor Toneatto, visit her website at meriflor.co. And I'm sure there's people listening to us in the United States right now who have been in Florida and other parts where Tim Hortons are available saying, hey, Rob and Meriflor, I understand exactly what you're talking about at rolling up the brim to win. This is the X Zone. I am Rob McConnell. We'll both be back on the other side of this break. Whatever you do, don't go away.
Broadcast studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, to the world and beyond. You're watching the X Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net.
AVS Media Demo.
The scientist and the mystic have been on an age-old, relentless search with one thing in common. They seek truth. Their paths converge in the 40,000-year-old practice of shamanism, an ancient science delving to the quantum level of life, facilitating healing, manifestation, and evolution. I'm Gwilda Wiyaka, the founder and director of Path Home Shamanic Arts School, a unique Colorado State-certified occupational school, training shamanic practitioners and teachers. We also provide classes for empowering personal lives through shamanism. Our certification classes are in week-long segments enabling international participation, and online classes and long-distance shamanic healing sessions are available. Come discover the science of magic in the limitless world of shamanism. www.findyourpathhome.com.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365. Rob McConnell here, presenting an overview for Nicholas Paul Jennings, author of a fascinating book, Amen. It presents facts revealed by Egyptologists, facts that enable us to understand why Amen is the beginning of creation of God. It provides recommendations for religious leaders of the major religions to unify their beliefs and teach the Word of God. Love one another. Amen informs people how mankind conceived God. It was the Egyptians that developed the concepts of a soul, a hereafter, and Son of God. And finally, after the worship of many gods, they conceived the belief in one universal God, the maker of all there is. For more information, visit www.futureofgodamen.com. That's www.futureofgodamen.com. futureofgodamen.com. All right, Exonation, this question is for all the ladies of the Exo Nation around the world right now listening to us. If you're in your car, if you're at work, turn off the speakers on your computer because we want everybody in your office to listen to this. You know, if your husband's in the car with you sleeping, wake him up. If your boyfriend has got you out on a date and he wants to give you a nice big kiss, you say, listen to this first. Here we go, ladies. And you know, if you want money, manifestation, and miracles, and if you want to know more about how we feel here at the X Zone, as well as my guest, Meriflor Toneatto, feels about the worth of women today. Well, we've got another half hour to go. My guest is Meriflor Toneatto. She is the author of Money, Manifestation, and Miracles. Her website is meriflor.co. Do you think we got their attention, Meriflor?
I think so. That was very, very convincing.
I think so, and there's probably a lot of...
In your radio voice.
There we go, and thank you. Thank you very much. I don't know, what was I doing? Oh, that's right. Okay, we're talking about money, manifestations, and miracles. How important is the universe when we are planning all of this? Is the universe and spirituality and spiritual laws part of this formula?
It is part of the formula, and one of the reasons why I actually called it Money, Manifestation, and Miracles is that I wanted to share with everybody reading some of the behind-the-scenes spiritual laws or universal laws that we can take part in and that we are likely already doing without even knowing it, because there is everything in the universe is a form of energy, and money is a form of energy exchange. And for what, getting money for the work that we're doing, it's that kind of exchange. And I wanted to put that in because I've observed over the years so many successful and wealthy people from all walks of life, and even observed it in my own life, that if we can understand some of these mysteries, if you will, that it's more accessible to people, then people can have a better way of kind of understanding how to tap into wealth and success more easily. And so in the book I talk about the financial prosperity, universal and spiritual laws that can help us to do this. Now, should I include some examples?
I would love it.
Okay. So I talk about there's a number of spiritual laws, but I'll give you two as an example. One is, so first of all, though, Rob, you've heard of the law of attraction, I suppose.
Definitely.
Yes. So like attracts like, and a lot of people have even heard it, I'm sure, through The Secret. And so there are other laws. So the law of clarity, for instance, is that when you're clear about your deepest desire, nobody can stop you. You know that moment when you make a decision, and actually the word to decide is Latin for decidere, meaning to cut off. And when you cut off all the other options, you're going to go with that one thing. So when you become so clear on that, and you set your intention for to do something, nobody is going to get in your way. And I love the statement, and I always say that is never get in the way of a woman on a mission. But anyways, the thing is that as soon as you become so clear, then if it's in alignment with who you are, the best of your intention, and for your highest purpose and good, I've found that the universe will back you up in a way that resources and people and opportunities will start to come your way, so you can get to the next path of getting to from your point A to point B.
I'd like to.
Has that ever happened in your life?
Yeah, it does. Yes, And I'm going to give you another example, if you don't mind,
sure.
of that very, very way of thinking. Because another Canadian, Jim Carrey,
yes,
he wrote himself, I believe it was a $5 million check. 10 million.
$10. $10 million.
Which is about $5 million now.
Okay, right.
Unless it was American, then it's $152 million. And, you know, he says, one day I'm going to cash it. One day I'll be able to cash this check. And he carried that check around with him for years. And finally, the day came when he could cash it.
And actually, you know, that's a beautiful story, and thank you for bringing that up, Rob, because he was on an Oprah Winfrey show. And I guess I don't know if they were actually meaning to talk about it, but he started to talk about it, and he pulled his wallet out, and he pulled out that check, and he signed it, and it said on the memo, services rendered. And so his idea was that he was going to have this $10 million check for services rendered, and he was a down-and-out broke actor, comedian at the time.
Yes.
That's what actually ended up happening.
Every time my wife gives me a check, in the memo it says, "You owe me now." And I say, "Yes, dear. What are you going to say?"
But that's true, isn't it, with the law of clarity?
It is.
He must have been so clear that there are no other options. This is what I'm pursuing. And with everything else that had to happen, all the steps that he had to take for his path to light up to get to that moment. And that's pretty incredible.
The odds are staggering. Yeah. You know, because when you look, I look at a person's life as a ripple in a pond. You know how you have a nice quiet pond and you toss in a pebble, how those rings form?
Yes.
Okay, now just imagine all the other people on this planet are also little rings in that very same pond. How many lives are we interacting with on an ongoing basis? And to accomplish anything, to keep the clarity, to keep the persistence and the drive to go from one side of the pond to the other, it takes a lot. But I believe that there's a master plan. And once you realize what your mission is, you're part of that plan. And if you keep to the idea, the concept, that you will get there. Persistence.
Yes, absolutely. And, you know, I also talk about in the book, Rob, that success is a personal choice.
Mm-hmm.
It really, really is. And very early on in my life and in my career, I made that decision. And I didn't even really know that I was making it in my teens. I just knew that there was something bigger, that all of these steps, everything, and even in the mundane occurrences, all led up to this book. And now here you and I are having this connection and reaching so many people around the world.
We talked a little bit before we went on air about the 3 things I wanted to do in life. And I never lost focus. And I've been blessed with meeting people in my life who have given me words of wisdom, thoughts, whatever. And each one of these people were what I consider to be a step to where I am today. And my wife, who is, you know, one of my biggest contributing factors to what I do, she once told me many years ago, if you confess it, you will possess it.
Mm-hmm.
And this was my mantra. If you confess it, you will possess it. And you always treat people as you would want to be treated if you were in their shoes. Because this universe, karma.
Exactly. Well, and that is very, very true. We have to have the persistence. We have to have the conviction, not just the belief, but the actual conviction that what our path is and what our purpose is, that we have to move towards that. because there's so many people that will help us along the way to get there, and everything's interconnected.
It is, but one of the greatest things people, in my experience, need to do is understand it's okay to go to others who are experts in fields or that you can bounce ideas off. That's not a sign of weakness. And so many men, now this is where we're talking about egos of a man, they will not go to another person who has the ability to help them better understand a situation or to correct a situation because of their egos, where women will talk, exchange ideas. And once again, this is a very important message and lesson that men can learn from women. And this is why I'm so glad you're with us tonight. And your book is out there, and we have to take our final break right now, but we'll be back on the other side. X-Zone Nation, our guest this hour is Meriflor Toneatto. She is in Toronto, Ontario, just down the QEW from us here in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. And her website is meriflor.co. My name is Rob McConnell, and this is the X-Zone, a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. It's a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. And we come to you Monday through Friday from 10 p.m. Eastern until 2 a.m. Eastern on the iHeartRadio Network, Talkstar Radio Network, Mutual Broadcast Network, and X-Zone Broadcast Network. We'll be back on the other side as we wrap up this hour, so don't go away. And all right, ladies, you can release the chokehold off the guys for now. That's it, lady. Okay. And get back to the driving and, lower the speakers in the office. But go to the website, buy the book, www.meriflor.co. The name of the book is Money, Manifestation, and Miracles.
You have heard of the X-Zone? Now watch it on Simul TV, plus 500 video games, live TV channels, free video on demand, worldwide, and more. Does this sound like tomorrow's television? Well, it is, but you can have it today, right now. It is Simul TV. Simul TV offers what the others only wish they could provide. 15 exclusive channels like X-Zone, Sci-Fi, and Horror. We are worldwide. No other provider offers that. 500 built-in video games. No need to have an extra expensive system. We have them included. Free video on demand. Live streaming events from around the world. Interactive online network, and much more. Tomorrow's TV today. Simul TV. Sound too good to be true? Well, it's not. You can have Simul TV today. Sign up at simultv.com. Do it today.
The new nonfiction book, Razor of Madness, is similar to cult movies like Clockwork Orange, Dragon's Tattoo, or The Other Side of Hell. Wayne Morin Jr. and Thomas Lee Howell will expose widespread and systematic deficiencies in this thought-provoking tell-all novel. Mind control rages among scholars in law schools. Human rights are ignored while thought reform and mental manipulation are accepted practices used as behavior modification. Dr. Louis Jolyon West comes to mind. Media and public scrutiny shows that United States mental hospitals are in fact destructive murder industries. Razor of Madness expose novel details this epidemic through an in-depth professional and personal investigation. For decades, there has been a revolving door policy that still releases killers and pedophiles back into society. The maestro of mind control continues to haunt America to this very day. Razor of Madness is available in paperback or as a downloadable ebook at Amazon.com.
I'm William S. Peckham. If you enjoy a good mystery with a touch of the paranormal, then you'll love my novel, From Out of the Woodwork. It's the story of a young Toronto contractor, Sean Kennedy, who buys derelict homes, guts them, and turns them into multi-family dwellings. Slums just waiting to happen. When Sean buys 29 Livery Lane, the house fights back. Former owners unexpectedly come out of the woodwork as he starts the destruction. The apparitions come to him when he touches old books, reads hidden letters, rummages through old boxes, finds a locket, or reads a discovered manuscript of a murder mystery. From Out of the Woodwork will take you from 1899 to the horror of the World Trade Center, September 11, 2001. Check out From Out of the Woodwork on my website, www.williamspeckham.com.
And welcome back, everyone. Meriflor Toneatto is our special guest. And she is the author of Money, Manifestation, and Miracles. Her website, meriflor.co, and that's meriflor.co. I was going through the information that you were kind enough to send us, and I came across something called the core manifestation process. What is that?
Yes. It's sort of like what we were just talking about, Rob, about how things happen in the universe. But really, it's the process of understanding how to manifest what you desire. And there's 4 steps to it, and I kind of call it a system because over the years I have perfected it to this 4 steps. So the 4 steps that you can use, and anybody can use this, both men and women, is to first get clear and ask the universe for what you want. And, of course, we just talked about clarity and how you have to be really, really clear. So, number 1, get clear and ask for what you want. Number 2, visualize receiving what you desire. Number 3, release any outcome. Release the outcome by practicing non-attachment, meaning that you're not so closely tied to that exact outcome that you're not willing to consider anything else. And number 4 is take aligned actions, including preparing to receive what you've asked for.
How do you do that?
I have used that process for so many things in my life, and I've usually found that it can sometimes come back to you even better than what you asked for, because there can be and is likely a better dream that the universe has for you than you have for yourself.
Why are so people, men and women in today's society, so insecure?
Why are they so insecure?
Yeah.
It's basically a fear of not being enough.
Wow.
On some level. And that, really, to be that honest with oneself, to do the go inward, because it's an inward journey, because what we're seeing in our external world is only what we project from the inside to the outside. Because what we do as humans is, there's this, oh my gosh, I can't remember the word right now, but what we do is we look for evidence to validate our beliefs on the outside. So we can think something, we can maybe think, okay, the only way that money's going to come into my life is if I work really, really hard 7 days a week because my father did it or my mother did it, and now we will look for evidence on the external to prove us right.
So they're looking for validation?
Yeah, they're looking for validation, but it's really, that question that you've just asked is really about the sense of not feeling enough.
You say that affirmations are an important manifesting tools. What tips do you have to offer for our listeners in using manifestations in an effective way?
So when we're just talking about this core process, so within that, a way to it is a way to change your mindset or to help your subconscious is to repeat affirmations, which are positive statements that are simple and you can use and declare to get you closer to where you want to be. So, for instance, you would create an affirmation that's simple and in the present tense and something that makes you feel more, something like you can repeat it and remember it. So something like, I am happy, wealthy, and healthy. Something like that that's very general, but it could be something like that. And then you could also create affirmations that are something that you truly believe in. Like for you, what was that you had just said that your wife had?
Oh, if you confess it, you will possess it.
Yeah, so that's technically that was an affirmation for
right.
you.
Yeah.
Because that helped guide you. And so it's like that. It's simple, but it's profound for you, and you truly believed in it. And it has to feel that it's possible. And it has to feel exciting, because then there's energy behind it. And then then you start to believe it, and as you start to believe it, you start to kind of envision the fact that it's happening in the moment. And the universe doesn't tell time, so it doesn't know, it just feels energy. So if your energy feels positive in that moment, you can technically manifest something in that moment.
It has to resonate with you. Because
it has to.
You know, and would it be fair to say that an affirmation is a way of focusing yourself?
Yes, that's a very good point. Yes, I agree. It's statements that can help you focus yourself away from what, because usually when we have like a really big, lofty dream or goal, usually some sort of a fear or doubt could come up. And an affirmation in this way is a great focus toward what you want, because what you focus on grows. So you want to focus more on what you want rather than what you don't want.
Can you share with us a couple of success stories that you've heard that have been reflected to you and told to you by people who've read your book or used your techniques?
Yes. Well, I've actually included a lot of my client stories in here and in the book. And one in specific that was really successful. So there was this one woman who was really, really angry with money and actually with the world. And her business wasn't doing very well, and she had developed breast cancer.
Oh, God bless her.
And she was actually in remission, and she started working with me, and she just couldn't figure out why all of these things were not working out for her. And we started to talk about it, and I said to her, are you ready to hear something different? And she said, yes. And I said to her, it's time for you to forgive, because what's standing between you and abundance and money is forgiveness. And she had never thought about that. And I actually include in the book, which people can download, is an exercise on 10 steps to forgiveness. And she did that exercise, bless her soul, because she didn't really want to do it originally. But over time she came around, she said, and I said to her, you may have to do it more than once if it's something really deep-seated. And she was just really angry with her father. And she did that, I think, 3 times. And she said that she felt such a release and relief and felt so much lighter. And about 2 weeks to 3 weeks later, she started to get, because she was in business for herself, she started to get some really good contracts, and things started to move for her. But it was that exercise and just this complete change of that focus that started to work for her.
Isn't it ironic? We're so eager to forgive others, and yet we're the last ones to forgive ourselves.
Yes, exactly. And I actually asked her, I said, you may have to do this one or more times, because you also have to turn that inward and forgive yourself.
Right.
And she really did. And I remember her looking at me. At first she looked like she didn't get it, and then it started to really, you can tell when you're looking at somebody's eyes and they get it. Yep. And she said, oh my goodness, I've never thought of it that way. And then the next time I saw her, she had a smile on her face. She was lighter, and she said she slept so well. And she's cancer-free today still. She still keeps in touch with me.
That is wonderful news. That truly is. Listen, we've got about a minute and a half left. What are your final thoughts for the listeners around the world tonight, both male and female? Because, like I said, I think this would be an excellent book for guys as well.
Oh, thank you for that. Well, my final thoughts are that no matter where you are or have been, or if you've had challenges with money, please remember that they don't define who you are, and it doesn't dictate your future, because you are the one in charge, and you are the one that has the choice to let in the abundance, which is your natural state. The other thing I want people to know is that when you can use money for the greater good, it can be a win-win for all. And you can use money really as a tool and a vehicle to have more aliveness and growth and goodness in your life, and to be able to use it as a force for good in the world. And the last thing I also want to say is Oprah Winfrey said in her Golden Globe Award speech is that it's a new day is on the horizon for women and girls, and I say that I absolutely agree. So anyone listening to this, you can apply this book. May it empower you to be a difference maker and a force for good in the world.
And my final words are, gentlemen, don't forget, behind every successful man is a woman.
Oh, wonderful.
Meriflor, I want to thank you so much for joining us. Great talking to you. Take care of yourself. And I'm going to tell you something. Tomorrow when I go to Tim Hortons, I'm going to be thinking of you.
Oh, thank you. And you know what? I will do the same, Rob.
All right, my friend. Take care of yourself. I hope to have the pleasure of meeting you one day in person and having a coffee with you.
Yes, thank you so much.
It's been our pleasure. X-Zone Nation, my guest this hour has been Meriflor Toneatto. Her website is meriflor.co. That's meriflor.co. I'd like to thank our good friends at New World Library for helping make this interview possible. I'll be back on the other side of this break with the news as we continue here in the X-Zone from our broadcast center in beautiful Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, just down the road from Toronto. Modern Esoteric, Beyond Our Senses by Brad Olson, consummates the lifeology story about where humanity originates. It is the lost continents, the primitive wisdom, the mythos of creation, and the rethinking of ancient history as we are taught in academia. There is much more to the story than what we have been told. As this is the first book in the Esoteric series, Modern Esoteric starts at the beginning of time and accelerates up to this modern age. Future Esoteric is book 2 in the series and takes a forward-looking position ahead of today with an open and honest examination of the ET issue and various unexplained phenomena. To discover the writings of author Brad Olson, visit www.bradolson.com. That's www.bradolson.com. Are you or is someone you know struggling with addictions, depression, anxiety, relationships, low self-esteem, lack of confidence, grief, success, and prosperity? Do you know that your subconscious belief plays a big role in the outcome of your hard work? We can help you permanently change the beliefs that may be the reason for your struggles and failures. We care about getting you the return on your investment and the results you are looking for. We can help you be free of the limitations of your past and in realizing your highest potential. We work with people by phone and Skype. For more information, visit us at www.ritasoman.com. That's www.ritasoman.com. Do you think you have energy problems in your home? Do you feel better when you're away than when you're home? Joey Korn is a global leader in the world of dowsing who specializes in personal energy clearing and space clearing. He can help you create an ideal energy environment in your home no matter where you live in the world. Learn about his remote spiritual house cleaning services and much more at www.dowsers.com. You can get Joey's book, Dowsing, A Path to Enlightenment, as well as other dowsing books and tools, Kabbalah books, and Walter Russell books. Joey's work is really amazing. Go to dowsers.com right now. That's DOWSERS.com or call 1-877-DOWSING. That's 1-877-369-7464.